All right. This is my first time going live from YouTube. So, if you've never seen a tequila talk before, basically, these are just my raw thoughts. I have some notes, I have some things that I'll reference, but for the most part, it's just going to be things that I don't normally talk about in my videos. Um, Thank you in advance if you are watching live, and even thank you again if you are watching the replay of this live. I will test this out. Maybe I'll do another YouTube um, stream directly from here, or I'll go back to my normal platform. But want to just test out the differences here. All in all, my name is Key. I run this YouTube channel called keyKEYadventures. I've been in the credit card points, miles, just increasing the way that I travel and my lifestyle by utilizing credit cards, points, and miles since 2016. My personal travel goals are to travel at least one time per month and utilizing things like credit card points, miles, perks, benefits that come along with credit cards and rewards programs holistically. So, thank you in advance. And I'm just going to send this link out to a couple of folks here. Um, Happy Sunday, everybody, as I'm going ahead and doing that. Thank you for those who have already joined. Awesome. How's everybody Sundays going? And also would love to hear where you're calling in from. Um, Without further ado, today's tequila talk, I'm going to be drinking G4 tequila. I have four of them in front of me. I'll kind of talk through this tequila that I have, and why I like it, why we have it on the screen today. But really, just wanted to use this live stream to talk through um, some things that I don't normally put in videos. So some of those are, my age. Some of those are my investing strategies. Some of those are just going against the grain. At the end of the day, there's a lot of folks, and I guess I'll get right into it here. Um, I'm in my early 30s. I'm a millennial. I like nice things. I don't know why I find a lot of the times people on YouTube, especially like if I go to Reddit or even just other channels, and I'm not throwing shade at anyone in particular, these are just my raw thoughts. But like everyone seems to be frugal, rice and beans, Dave Ramsey type thing, even though they like credit cards, right? Kind of making their own twist on that. Or the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. Those are all cool, but the future is not guaranteed. And I'm not to say like I'm not saving for the future. I'm not thinking about the future. It's just I want to live my life right now while I'm still young, while I still can travel, move, move and groove. So why would I wait until I'm retired to start doing some of these trips that I do, or hitting things on my bucket list while, when it may be harder for me to move around, or right, people get disabled all the time. So potentially, getting disabled. I hope that's not in my future, but you never know. So I like nice things, and I use credit cards, I use points and miles to elevate, elevate everything, travel, elevate my bucket list experiences, elevate the people around me. I did not grow up well off. I think I've talked about this in a number of videos. And that's okay, right? Very middle class. I would say lower middle class is how I grew up. But ultimately, I learned so much from watching my parents go through what they went through. Now they're much better position, of course, right? They don't have two kids and they're not paying for extra mouths and things like that. But just so much I've learned from that. And I want to make sure that I can show them that there's so much stuff out in the world. Vacations used to be to my family, and I know I've talked about this before, but used to be like my family and I cramming into a car, driving back to Michigan, which is where my family's from, and that's a long drive from Massachusetts. So a lot of bonding time, a lot of things like that. Now, if there is something my family wants to go back for to Michigan, it's now like a 3-hour thing. Like, let's drive them to the airport. There's going to be a nonstop flight to Detroit, and they could do their thing. We can use points and miles for that. We can use, rewards and travel rewards to pay for things like rental cars. But even further than that, like taking my family like on Mother's Day or Father's Day, right, to somewhere they've always wanted to go. My dad's a big restaurant guy. He loves reading like restaurant reviews. He's a big USA Today newspaper guy. There's this like food section, I think, or maybe it's lifestyle. I'm not exactly sure, but it lists out restaurants and all sorts of stuff. He loves that. He clips them out. He's very old school. I love it. But he clips them out and he's like, "Have you heard of this restaurant? Like you've been to, I don't know, I'll say Chicago or whatever." Sometimes I just like to book a flight for Father's Day or for his birthday or just whenever that works, especially, he's going to be retired here soon. So that'll be really exciting. But like to just go to one of those restaurants that he's talked about. Like, I don't know, just seeing the joy on his face, like when we get there and he has no idea where we're going, first of all. And boom, you know, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that I don't have to any longer worry about, dang, I have to take this flight at 4 o'clock in the morning because it's the cheapest, right? It may be, $70 versus the one I actually want is at 11, 12, whatever time, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I can now do that because oftentimes the point price is the same, or it's relatively the same, where it's justifiable for me to say, hey, I'll spend 1,000 or 2 extra 1,000 points or miles to book these flights because I don't have to wake up at the crack of, dawn or whatever. So I love it. I love being able to do that for my family. I love being able to, another example, I love booking hotels for folks. Like if it's their birthday, like a milestone birthday, or if my nephews have a soccer tournament or basketball tournament, what have you. I love saying like, hey, you guys, why don't you guys spend the night at the hotel that's right across from the field or down the street? So you don't have to worry about driving back and forth or what have you into all of that. So without further ado, I'm kind of rambling on. I have some topics here. Wanted to see when there were some folks dropping in. If you're here, let me know in the chat where you're calling in from, where you're tuning in from. And if you're watching the replay, please do the same in the comments. But first, we're drinking G4 tequila tonight. Starting off with their Blanco tequila. And even before I get into that, I actually pretty recently got into tequila. I would say within the last year and a half or so. And there's so many cool events that you can go to. One of them I went to, let's see, does it have the date on here? It was back in November, nevertheless. But it's called Good Juice. I talked about it on another live stream, but you can see, look at all the vendors that were here. Very cool. I don't want to call anybody out specifically, but except for G4, because I'm drinking them tonight. But starting off with the Blanco, we're going to go all the way through the Anejo as we think about that. So cheers to you. If you're drinking water, you're drinking Diet Coke. I feel like a lot of people drink Diet Coke. I've never even had Diet Coke, fun fact. So maybe we can get me some Diet Coke. Feel free. If you're loving it, drop some super chats or super stickers, etc. Would greatly appreciate that. But cheers to everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. G4 Blanco is what we're having today. Yeah, that's good. It's been sitting out room temperature. But nevertheless, one of the things I did with my points and miles this year was start attending non-sports events, right? I completed my bucket list of going to all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums, and I'll have a video coming out this week talking through that full process, right? But ultimately, now I'm expanding into going to other types of events. I still love sports. You can see the McLaren flag behind me. You can see all the stuff, right? I love sports. But now getting into things like Marriott experiences, getting into the Capital One entertainment portal, and just so many others, right? Hilton has one. Choice Privileges has a program where you can spend your points on experiences, on things like that. And one of those I used to purchase tickets to a general admission pass, as you can see on the bottom here, to Good Juice. I'd never heard of Good Juice before, but wow, they know how to throw an event. It was in Austin, Texas. This is the second annual event. The first one that they had was in San Diego, California. I'll just say California last year, but this one in Austin was awesome. I got a hotel using Wyndham Rewards points. Check out my latest short if you are interested in what a Wyndham Diamond room looks like, an upgraded room looks like in the United States. I like Wyndham, but I did cancel my Wyndham business earner credit card shortly after that stay because I don't know why. I would rather spend my energy on focusing on one hotel program like Marriott. That's what I really did in 2025. So I was able to hit titanium status with Marriott, and I'm still climbing. Right, we still got about 30 days left in 2025. I think I have a few more stays up my sleeve. Um, but all in all, I was able to stay. I walked about, I don't know, 1,000 yards to the event, walked back. So the Wyndham property was perfect for that. But everything else was terrible. Like the room was like, I would say, okay, my college dorm room may have been bigger if I was to give it a size, right? And if you're not familiar with that, it's, I mean, not very big, and you're splitting that with two people. This had one king bed. It had a little, saying a desk is being nice because there wasn't like an office chair. There was just like a bench. It was a pegboard or a corkboard, whatever we want to call it. I don't know what it's called. Bathroom, shower. It was very clean. Like I have nothing to say about the property being, dirty or anything like that. It was perfect. Exactly what I needed. I wanted to walk to the event or Uber to the event, but it was so close. I walked there and back. And that was it. And they were surrounded by restaurants. So like, how perfect is that? That stay though really got me thinking. I used to love, and I never would cancel hotel credit cards, but this stay, y'all, again, nothing negative about the property. It's just like, okay, this is how you treat your top people, that are supposed to be, allegedly, right? There's no way for them to know you have status from a credit card or you have status, like when you check into the hotel, there's no way for them to know. It just says your name followed by status, and, they're supposed to treat everyone the same, right? So like, again, check out that short where I showcased my room. Just not impressed. Nevertheless, I'd rather spend extra points in the future to find a Marriott. Maybe that's an Uber away, a Lyft away, because I'll get things like built rewards or some of these other points, points and miles that I love. Let me see what we got in the comments. Detroit in the house. Let's go. That's so funny. Are you in one of the 700 Delta Sky Clubs that they have there? Background balloon. Actually, can I pull these up on the screen? I've never used this software before. Okay, I don't think I can. I'm just looking around. Nope. Okay, I can't. I don't want to mess anything up. Background balloon. Good to see you. And no, I've never had Diet Coke. But I haven't missed much. Okay, good to know. I haven't had many dark sodas. Like outside of grape, there's not many dark sodas unless you count ginger ale, I guess. No, it's kind of light. You can see through it. I haven't had many dark sodas, so maybe I need to do a tequila talk, but like it's all dark sodas. Chad's Money Minutes. Hey, Chad, I'm taking a message out of your playbook here and just going off the cuff. I got a couple of notes to the right, and I'll get into them in a minute. Drinking some G4 tequila today. Got everything from the Blanco, their high proof, their Reposado, all the way up through their Anejo here tonight. Sleepy Rod. You canceled the Wyndham Business Earner. Those sound like fighting words. Interesting. I know there's a lot of people that have this card. The card used to be amazing because for $95, you instantly used to get, and this was before this video came out, so no longer possible, but you instantly got a $100 celebratory, it's called dinner, but you could use it anytime, just meal in Atlantic City or Las Vegas. So pay $95. Of course, you get stuff with Wyndham, like the diamond status, you get to match over to Caesars, all that fun stuff. But then, like, you regularly get, like, Caesars wants you to stay for $30 a night, where, again, you pay cash, but you have things like the Venture X or the business capital and Venture X, where you can purchase that in cash, get your credits or whatever's due to you, and then erase those charges after they hit your account. But yeah. Nevertheless, so you used to get that celebratory dinner. That thing used to be awesome. I used to love going to Las Vegas Restaurant Week because all the restaurants, they had like 3 or 4 course lunches and dinner. I love going to lunches with that celebratory dinner credit Caesars used to offer because I could bring like 3 people and we could still hit that $100 and then, of course, pay out of pocket for tip and things like that. But like, I love it. Whereas Vegas dinners, those are easily 100 per person, which is crazy if you're going to like, a lot of the restaurants there are famous chefs, Gordon Ramsay, Kat Cora, etc. So like a lot of those places, it's like $70, $100 a person. And again, I'm not frugal, but like if I can use things like celebratory dinner credits and travel eraser, like I'm not going to go to Shake Shack for $3 or whatever it's called. What is it called? In-N-Out for $3. I'm going to go to Gordon Ramsay's fish and chips and get the 3 course or the 4 course dinner, including the bread pudding there is ridiculous. If you are in Vegas or if wherever there's one of these fish and chip places, you need to have some of that in your body because it is ridiculous. Mm. All right. Some other people have Wyndham. I'll read the comment in a second here, Sleepy Rod, but here's what I'm doing. I'm really taking investing and elevating my life to kind of to the next level. What I mean by that, I did cancel the Wyndham Business Earner credit card and a couple others last week. So what I did was with the Wyndham Business Earner specifically, I was going to pay that $95 regardless, right? I already, I didn't normally cancel credit cards, especially hotel credit cards. What I did was I took that $95 that I was going to pay towards annual fees and I moved that into my Fidelity brokerage account. I have a full video talking about the positions I hold, the accounts that I have, etc. Feel free to check it out. I know not a lot of people like that type of content, but I did create it, right? There were some people that were asking. So thank you for asking. I listen to and I read all the comments. So what I did was I invested that and I'm now in FX AIX, which is just the Fidelity the Fidelity wow, excuse me, S&P 500. And now, right, that $95 is hopefully, right, S&P hopefully will grow over my, hopefully 40 plus more working years. And boom, I'm going to have greater than $95 for return. So when I retire, right, if, credit cards, points and miles, all they do is change, all these programs change, hopefully I'll have enough money, right, saved from things like shifting where I was going to spend money into my investments, right? So I can just use cash, 40 years down the line if some of these credit cards aren't as, popping as they are right now. I'll tell you that. So that's what I did. And that's what, I'm going to do. Anytime I cancel a card, I'm going to move that money from my account, or excuse me, from my checking account into my investing account, whether that's a Roth IRA, traditional IRA, my HSA I max out at work, so it won't be that account, or my brokerage account, excuse me. So one of those accounts is where I'll be putting all of my no longer spent monies on annual fees. All right. Sleepy Rod's with me though on Wyndham Diamond. I once showed up at a Wyndham property in Mexico as a diamond level member. I don't think the hotel even knew what diamond status was at the time. So no meaningful benefits. Yeah. That's crazy to me. To be a part of a portfolio of properties, especially like Wyndham, there's not that many. There's like 7,000 or something like that. And not know what it means to be like, again, diamond status, right? If I'm looking at it on a computer, I'm working at the hotel, like that means you come here a lot. Like at the end of the day, that's all that means. Like that's what the different statuses mean. You don't come here if you have no status all the way through your diamond or your whatever the status name is. You come here a lot. We should value that type of benefit. So it's just odd to me when hotels don't recognize status, or the benefits you get is like, hey, thank you for being a diamond member. And like, that's it, crickets. Or you get to the upgraded room like I got, and it was a college dorm room. And again, no offense, it was perfect for what I needed. It was right down the street from the property. All right. So told you what I did about when I canceled cards. Another card I actually canceled this week was my personal Venture X, Capital One Venture X credit card. This is a $395 annual fee card, and made up math, right? Y'all know I love made up math. This card does not pay you to have it, right? They give you a $300 travel credit. They give you 10,000 anniversary miles, but nowhere, if I look at my checking account, does Capital One pay me money back. So I'm done with saying stuff like that. If you catch me saying stuff like that, please call me out. But I'm going to do my best to not say stuff that's not true. And that is factually not true. You do not get, they're not effectively paying you anything. If it's not hitting your account, if you can't spend those greenbacks, you can't move it to an investment account, they're not effectively doing anything. Some people call it girl math. I call that that's made up. That is not real. That is not factual. So I canceled that card as well. Very interesting. I called Capital One. I don't call banks often. And I'm gonna have some more G4 Blanco here. Yeah, it's good. I don't call banks often. But when I called in, I asked a couple of questions, of course, like the annual fee had hit my account. I've held it for, 365 plus days. Of course, I spent my $300 travel credit before I called in. With Capital One, with the Venture X credit cards, business or the personal, you don't get those 10,000 anniversary miles until like, I think it's like 8 weeks, or maybe it's like 2 months, something like that. I don't remember if it's 2 months or 8 weeks, or if it's a specific amount of days, 60 days or whatever. And you don't get those 10,000 anniversary miles until that threshold. So there was no way for me to get both that $300 credit and the 10,000 anniversary miles before, right, my annual fee would have been due. I wouldn't have been able to get from what I understand, I wouldn't have been able to get a refund of that, which is insane. Capital One fix that. That's crazy. But nevertheless, I did move $395 from my checking account into my brokerage account, again, extending my position in FXAIX, which is S&P 500 at Fidelity Investments. Couple things. Called Capital One, excuse me, and they were like, "Oh, you can just close it right online." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Is there no promotional offers on my account? It's the holiday season. Unfortunately, this hit my account at a really bad time." Nothing. Guy was giving me absolutely nothing. There's no offers. Okay, so fine. I was like, "Okay, perfect. Well, I'll go ahead and just change my card into a saver," right? I was just trying to hope to get myself an orange card. Y'all know I love orange, love McLaren, but I was trying to get myself a saver card, not one I've ever been able to get. And the guy was like, no, if you don't see it online, right? Because when you go in Capital One, there's a place to check for your upgrades and offers and things like that on your account. If you don't see it there, there's no offer, right? There's nothing that they can do, which is crazy, but that's fine. And I guess it would have been from a Visa Infinite to a MasterCard. The guy made up some stuff basically saying like, you can't go from Visa to MasterCard. That's cap. I do it all the time with with Chase. So like, there's no way that's not true. So there's that. But nevertheless, did you know you can close your Capital One account online? Because I had no idea. Basically, you go into Capital One. Let me see if I can log in real quick. And if I can share my screen without giving y'all all the information on Capital One, I will go ahead and do that. If I can. I'll have to double check if I even can share my screen. Okay, I can share my screen. Perfect. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, the account is closed, so I'm going to just go ahead and do that. Let me start sharing my screen here, and let's walk through this together because I want y'all to be saving money whenever you can. This card's already closed, so do what you want with my last 4 digits of my number here. All in all, to cancel this account on your own, because if there's no upgrade offers, if there's no information, things that you want to product change this card into, you won't be able to. Like if you don't see it on your account, there's nothing you can do. All in all, though, there's this under I want to, you can go ahead and close the account, and it brings you through, the terms and conditions, like you can't reopen the account, blah, 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 whatever that may look like. So you are able to do this directly online. I don't think I've ever seen this before, but maybe it's something new, right? It could be from like Wells Fargo and Bank of America, basically just like making making up accounts. So they're giving you more flexibility here. I have no idea. I'm just making this up. But I was able to do this. The guy walked me through the steps on how to close it, and that was it. There was no way to reallocate my $10,000 credit limit. I asked. There was no product change offers available on my account. And again, just showing here, I did use my $300 travel credit. Let me scroll down a little. Oh, you can't see it. I did use my $300 travel credit. I went $46 over. So what I did was I purchased that. So that way I think this is a rental car, but I purchased it. I got 10 points per dollar on this purchase. Plus then once it posted, what I did was I used the travel eraser with Capital One to erase these charges. And then I, of course, canceled the account. So all in all, very weird. I don't know. I guess I don't love. Oh, you're not able to see my screen? Are you not able to see my screen? Let me know if you're not able to see my screen. I've been just talking. Good news, we can't see the last 4 of your closed card. Bad news, we can't see the rest of your screen. That's fair. Okay, well, let me stop sharing because that's not helpful. Nevertheless, all good now. Oh, all right. Let me go back. I'm going to reshare it just so it's very clear. Thank you for letting me know. Let me come back here. You go to I want to. So right under my credit limit here, it says credit line $10,000. You go to I want to. Let me see if I can do that. And then in the middle of the screen, it will say close account under control your card. So you're able to do that. And sorry about that. Thank y'all for letting me know in the comments. You couldn't see my screen. That's crazy. But appreciate y'all. So able to do it online. Not much. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't call Capital One again. I don't really call the banks often. I was just kind of hoping and crossing my fingers that they would let me product change into anything. He basically said once that annual fee hits your account, there's nothing that they can do for product changes, which is just insane. I just don't. I don't understand how banks operate like that at all. But that's fine. I'm just grumpy because I can't get the card that I want. I still have 4 or 5 American Express card. Wow, Capital One cards. I think I have 5 still, so not a big deal at the end of the day. Okay, that was canceling cards and investing. Y'all, I have the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve credit card. I used to have 2 of them. I called U.S. Bank because my annual fee hit my account. Here's what's interesting with U.S. Bank specifically. Usually, when an annual fee hits your account, you are able to use net new credits, right? So with US Bank, it's not calendar year, it's based on card member year, right? That has nothing to do with the calendar, it's just when you signed up for the card. Why is it that my annual fee hits at a different date of my anniversary? Does that make sense? So like, for example, let's just say yesterday, the 29th of November, my annual fee hit on my US Bank Altitude Reserve. I called to see, hey, has my $300 travel and dining credit hit my, recouped, replenished itself? And they're like, "Oh no, it doesn't do that until your card member year, which is in May." I was like, "What? Why are you charging why are y'all charging me the annual fee now then?" I'm so confused by that. And of course, they don't have an answer, which is totally fine. Be nice to everyone if you're calling these banks, if you're traveling right now, these government employees, and just in general, just be nice. Be a nice human. But nevertheless, I was hoping what I could do is use my $325 travel and dining credit immediately, whether that's rental cars, flights, or local restaurants, right? I probably would have just added it to my Resi account. And we can talk about Resi and why you should be using that because those are couch credits. You don't have to leave your house to use the Resi credits. And some of these other credits, we'll go through that in detail today, especially now that I know how to share my screen. But again, this is stuff that I'm not going to talk about in a video. You're going to have to watch the replay. That's why I waited till about 30 minutes in to go through this. But anywho, my $325 with US Bank doesn't replenish until May of 2026 or whatever it is, April, whatever. It's definitely not in November. That's unfortunate because December 15th, I believe, US Bank is changing all of the way the travel credit works and some of the benefits, the real-time rewards and all of that. So unfortunately, there's not much I can do. I asked if there was any retention offers, and with US Bank, they typically do hit you with a retention offer of 10,000. What do they call their points? Rewards points. I'm slipping on the name right now. 10,000 altitude reserve points is what they're called. But this time they offered me 5,000, which is totally fine. I haven't put that much spend on it like I used to. Especially since getting that letter in the summertime that they were changing everything. But then I asked, what can I change my card into? So a product change. And with US Bank, I guess you have to have offers associated with your card. I don't have any offers, y'all. And this is problematic because this US Bank Altitude Reserve used to be, many years ago, a cash plus credit card. So a no annual fee US Bank card. This is one of my, if not my 5th card I ever got in my lifetime. So it was one I was hoping not to ever cancel. And I'm just looking to see when I opened it. It's my 4th card I've ever opened in my life. So I was hoping to never cancel like the top, 8 or so, maybe 10 credit cards I've acquired in my lifetime. That's the goal. But with this, unfortunately, there's no offers on my account. So of course, I'm going to be calling back every single day. I did put some charges on my US Bank Altitude Reserve, but I'm spending those altitude points quickly. As soon as they hit my account, I'm using them to purchase Lyft gift cards. I'm using them to purchase Uber gift cards, and then I'm using the real-time rewards to erase those charges or whatever you want to say. That was G4 Blanco, y'all, the regular Blanco. And I got some water here too. Last time I didn't have water. I was bugging out on this. I think I had like 8 tequilas that day. Okay. So right now, as of November 30th, I don't have any product change offers on my US Bank Altitude Reserve. And it's kind of freaking me out because I don't want to, granted, I have 50 cards. So nothing crazy would happen to my credit score. I just was in my mind, the whole reason I got the first 10 cards that I did is because they had easy upgrade and downgrade paths, meaning I could pay $400, a couple years. And if that became too much, I could go down to a zero annual fee. But now US Bank, I don't know if something changed or if it's because I just wasn't using my card enough. I'm not exactly sure. But let me know in the comments. Have you been declined? Especially, I know some folks have US Bank cards. Have you ever been declined with US Bank for doing the upgrade downgrade thing? Right now, I can't product change my Altitude Reserve, which is crazy. And also crazy, your anniversary date is different than when your annual fee posts. Very confusing. Very confusing. Now that I'm saying it though, let me go to Travel Freely. Y'all know I love Travel Freely to track my credit cards. Yeah, okay. What's interesting, I originally got this US Bank Cash Plus credit card back in April of, it doesn't matter the year. I got it in April. So why is my annual fee hitting in November? I guess I'm just so perplexed by that. Does anyone know? You guys are a lot smarter than I am. So please let me know if you're aware of why that may happen. Please don't be shy. Okay. Up next, I wanted to talk about oh, we got some questions in the chat. Let me go through. It's been a minute since I checked. Lisa J Stocks, what's going on, girl? Trying to connect with you. I did a couple investing videos, and I know you had some advice on, or not advice. I don't want to say that. You do not give financial advice. You had some critiques on my portfolio. I have about 4 ETFs, 4 index funds that I have in my portfolio. And you had some ideas on maybe some things that I should maybe do differently or just think about. Calder, you couldn't see the last 4 of my credit cards, so that's great. I'm glad. It's closed anyways, so it's going to be in one of those envelopes soon, going back to the shredder here soon. John, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing okay. And hopefully see you in Charleston. We'll talk about Charleston, South Carolina here for 2026. Y'all, I booked my hotel. I did it. I plan on going to Charleston from September 4th through September 8th. Let me just double check while I'm saying it. I don't normally tell you where I'm going to be, but now you know. I'm going to be at the same hotel as the Creator Meetup, and I'll be there Friday, September 4th, all the way through September 8th, 2026. I can't wait to meet you if I haven't already. But John, I've already met you. I can't wait to see you again. I hope you'll be there. Keep in mind, we're staying at a Hyatt. It was 20,000 points per night. And you can transfer Built Rewards 1-to-1, or you can transfer Chase Ultimate Rewards points 1-to-1. I did both. I emptied out my Built account and shifted those over to Hyatt. And then I moved over the rest from Chase. So I have approximately, I think it's like 400 built rewards points now. And we'll go through my Chase balance if y'all are interested in how many points I have. But yeah, I really do put my points to use. Sleepy Rod, have you applied for any new cards recently, or are there any cards you're eyeing? I am always eyeing cards. You know this. I have 45 active cards right now. And I've had 110, I believe, in my lifetime. So I am always eyeing credit cards. Things I recently got. Let me go ahead. I'm going to Travel Freely here. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to put my referral link in the description box if it lets me. Again, I'm using the YouTube version of going live today. So forgive me if I seem like I've never used a computer before. Would do huge solid. You have no obligation to use the link, but this is how I personally have tracked all my credit cards since 2019. So this year and recently, Sleepy Rod, I've gotten quite a few credit cards. I got a 3rd PenFed Pathfinder Rewards card, $0 annual fee, comes with a $100 calendar year credit. So $0, and I'm gonna get $200 right off the rip, y'all. One now and one soon as 2026 hits. I got the American Express Delta Reserve Business Credit Card. That was really to help me hit the next level of status with Delta. I'm primarily focusing on Delta, Marriott, and that's pretty much it next year. Also, recently, I'm just going in Q4. That's it. I got the American Express Bonvoy Brilliant Credit Card, And that's a $650 annual fee credit card. But this goes into my bigger Marriott strategy that I'll talk about here tonight. I have the AAA Daily Advantage Visa credit card that I hit the sign up bonus, which was $100 after spending $1,000. I paid my property tax for Q3, I guess. Q4. I don't know. I paid my property tax for the quarter, and I got $100 off of that, y'all, because I used this card. And then the last card I got in Q4 was the Rakuten American Express card, which also came with a sign-up bonus of spend $1,000, you get $100 back. I think I paid my landscapers, y'all, because they did. I basically redid my whole yard. So again, between that and probably a couple other charges, I was able to get $100 off of that as well, which is pretty cool. I love getting $100 off of stuff. So those are cards that I got in Q4, Sleepy Rod. Ones that I'm thinking about this year are, or, between now and December, I'm really thinking about getting that Amazon Prime credit card from Chase. Y'all know I'm way over 524. I think I'm like, I don't know, let me check Travel Freely. Travel Freely tracks all this stuff. I am 16 and 24, meaning I've gotten 16 cards in the last 24 months. So 524, for y'all that don't know, it doesn't always exist on things that are co-branded credit cards. Sometimes you're able to even get the Chase Freedom Unlimited, the Chase Freedom Flex, even though it's not available right now, the United. Sometimes you're able to get those well after your 524. So I'm going to call cap on people that are like, you can't get any more Chase cards. Go. I have like 12 Chase cards, and I haven't been under 524 in a minute. So why I'm thinking about getting that Amazon card is right now, it has a $250 sign-up bonus. And again, I'm going to share my screen here. Give me 1 second to log into Amazon, make sure nothing crazy is about to happen. Okay, perfect. This is good enough. Let me share my screen. Hopefully this works. I'm going to be sharing Amazon.com. And the reason why I'm thinking about getting the $250 Amazon Prime credit card from Chase is because right now, and you can see it's in my cart right now. Uh-oh, did they change price? Oh, they changed price. Oh, okay. So, actually the black ones are still, okay. So the USB type C, oops, why can't you see that? What is happening? Oh, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Let me try again. Why did that open another tab? Okay. The USB type C AirPods are $399 right now on Amazon. So what I'm thinking is, shouldn't I get the Amazon Prime card and take $250 off of this purchase? Because right now, if you go to Apple, these are $600 headphones or $550. I don't know, something like that. Crazy for headphones. But if I can get them for $100 or so, shouldn't I do that, y'all? Let me know in the comments, because you'll know I'll unfreeze my credit report in a minute to grab some headphones. But what I'm thinking is, I can buy the headphones for like I said, $400 minus 225, or excuse me, 250 from the credit card, and then I can just resell them. Even if I resell them for $400-500 or whatever, right? Maybe $450. Why not? Why not do that? So let me know what y'all think. Should I try and do that? I'm really thinking about it. But I see only the black ones, or the midnight color right now, is for $399 on Amazon, as well as Walmart. And I have Walmart Plus. You have Walmart Plus too. You have American Express Platinum. You have a Business Gold. You definitely should have Walmart Plus as well. So I'm thinking about it. I should buy them, resell it, and yeah, I won't use the Amazon card because typically I'm using my Bank of America customized cash, because you get elevated points, three points per dollar, or excuse me, 3% cash back on your online purchases. Right now I'm in the first year, so I'm getting 6% back on all my purchases. So that's my Prime card. That's my online shopping card right now. Filmo, hilarious. Thank you for joining. Filmo says he hasn't owned a pair of headphones since he lost his Walkman in 1987. I told everybody how old I was. I'm a early 30s millennial, so I was not alive in 1987, but that is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Oh, it looks like some other people. Tim, I'm glad you grabbed maybe a Christmas gift, I'm guessing. It says for your daughter after the $250 Amazon card credit. I'm thinking about it, y'all, and it seems like I got to make my move quickly because before it was every color, including the orange. Y'all know I was going to get the orange color. So I may have to do that while we're on this live stream. Unfreeze my Experian, apply for the card, and go through the rigmarole of that. Okay, next up here, we're going to the next tequila. It is still G4. I'm still drinking G4. This is their high proof tequila. I think it's 108 proof, something like that. I've never had this one before. I've had all the other ones that I'm drinking tonight, but this was a brand new bottle crack. As soon as I get a bottle, y'all, I like to open it so that way I don't have this like mental like I have to save this or whatever. Yeah, I just open the bottles and I put them back on the shelf so I don't have to go through that. But yeah, 108 proof. I wonder, this might blow up my palate because I have the Reposado and the Anejo next, but you know, we'll see. Oh yeah, that's strong. Whew. That's strong. This would be great in a ranch water, y'all. Lime juice, Topo Chico or soda water. I know it's supposed to be Topo Chico, but not everybody got that. So that would be delicious with some fresh lime juice and some soda water. Okay. They hate me. Good to see you. It has been such a long time since I've seen you on one of these videos, so I greatly appreciate you being here, as well as everyone. Are you planning to cancel any cards within the next year? Yes, I talked about 2. You may want to back it up, put this on 2x speed. So far, just in the past week, I've canceled 2 or 3 credit cards. One of them was the $95 Wyndham Business Earner credit card, and the other was the $395 Capital One Venture X credit card. So, no, nobody's safe. Not hotel credit cards, not shit that pays you to have it. I told you, I hate that saying. I think I hate it more than resi restaurants. So we're kind of in that neighborhood. We're kind of in that vibe. Just my unfiltered thoughts tonight. I talked about resi credits being couch credits. Should I talk through that? Do you guys know how to use your resi credits? And when I say resi credits, I want to make sure I'm being clear. American Express purchased a restaurant order platform. What do we want to call it? Restaurant platform called Resi. I think maybe during the pandemic or something like that. But ultimately, this is it's like a Yelp or a I don't even know. Why am I blanking on restaurant services right now? Hold on, looking it up. Open Table. Wow, I couldn't remember. Or Talk or Yelp, like I mentioned. So competitor to those types of people. Now, a lot of the American Express credit cards, the personal gold, I'm forgetting cards for sure because I don't even have the personal gold, but a lot of the cards come with a batch of Resi credits. The personal platinum comes with Resi credits that you can use. I'm calling credits like this couch credits. What I mean by that, you can sit in your office chair, you can sit and watch me and do this on the screen. The thing about Resi is I think they only have Apple as like you have to use like an Apple device in order to get the app. I don't know, whatever. But nevertheless, you can use these credits at any restaurant that's on this app. 1, you do not have to make a reservation. You don't have to do that. You just show up, pay like you normally pay with a restaurant after you eat, drink, whatever, and that's it. And then you get your credit, typically about 48 hours or so, definitely within your next statement cycle for sure. And if you don't, you can reach out to American Express in the chat online. Please don't call them. Just use the chat while you're sitting here listening to me, and you can use the credit that way. So couch credit. Here we go. Here's what I mean by that. And I'm going to start sharing my screen again so you can follow along. We are deep enough into this video where, if people aren't going to watch, they're not going to watch. Okay, can we see my screen? It's Resi. You already know I live in Rhode Island, so it's defaulting here to Providence. Now, you can select, right? You can type in your own city. You'll see at the top, it has popular cities: Athens, Greece, Atlanta, Austin, Barcelona, etc. in this thing. You can use this, and let me go ahead and just show. You can type in whatever you want here. So if your city is not listed here, if I live in bumfuck, Massachusetts, or bumfuck, Rhode Island, I can type that into the search bar. Okay, now I'm going to use Providence as the example here, so I'm just going to keep coming down. Now, what you want to do, how you make this a couch credit, is coming down to the restaurant that you want to choose. You only need to do this step one time. Okay. I'm going to try Persimmon. I went there one time for drinks and the restaurant seems amazing. I don't know if y'all have seen The Bear, but like basically they have a new menu every day. There's like a chef curated 4 or 5 course menu. So I imagine it's pricey. It says $1 bill, but the drinks were kind of expensive. I would say the drinks were like 15 to 20 bucks per drink. So I doubt this is a $1 bill place. But nevertheless, I'm going to click on Persimmon here. And ultimately, again, you do not have to make a reservation to use the Resi credit. Okay. I want to be clear on that. Now, what you want to do is come down and it's going to have the website listed of the restaurant. I'm going to click on the website and I think I now have to reshare my screen. I do. Perfect. What you're looking for once you get to the restaurant's website. And please, I hope you're able to see my screen. I'm never going to do this again. I hate spoon feeding information, but here we are. Tequila Talks, unfiltered, raw thoughts. You want to come and make sure the place sells gift cards. We're doing this live. I didn't test anything here. What you're looking for here is for the restaurant gift card to be powered by Toast. And let me just check here. I don't know what's going on with the screen share situation. Okay, I selected gift cards. It brought up a new screen. So let me go there. And at the bottom, you want to make sure this says powered by Toast. Okay, everyone's seeing that? It's in small writing right below add to cart. You only need to do this step one time. Okay. Now, a couple things. You're going to notice you can purchase gift cards for as little as a penny all the way up to $500. Okay. So this isn't like the Uber or the Lyft or the rideshare credits you may get where if you try and purchase a gift card, it's a minimum of $25. Nah, you can type in whatever you want here. So let me go back in this amount, right? Say you have the gold card or whatever. I don't know the cards, right? I don't have the personal platinum. I don't have the personal gold, but I know one of those cards comes with a $50 semi-annual credit. But you can use things like the Delta cards, right? Those come with a Resi credit as well of $10 or $20, right? So you can purchase a $10 gift card. Put in your email here. You put in when you want it to arrive. You can put in your email, right? You can put in your name. And if you want to put a message, you can. But again, what you're looking to do is use these credits from home, couch credits. So once you have the gift card, you only need to do this once because they're going to send you an email. And let me check. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and I'm going to go to my email. But you need to keep one email. I've started. I just want to make sure before I start sharing my screen that nobody is going to see any of my information. Okay, you would. Okay. Nevertheless, you keep the email. It comes to you within the next 20 minutes. It's very quick that you'll get your gift card of whatever amount you selected. Do that one time. If you have many cards that have the credit, that's fine. You're only going to need to purchase one gift card. Now, once you get the email, I would share my screen, but it's showing you the gift card number and the PIN, so I'm not going to do that. But what you want to do is click on, there's a spot that says check your gift card value. What you can do every month, once those credits replenish, right, on the Delta cards, on the personal or business, or excuse me, personal platinum or the personal gold card, what you want to do is manage your gift card balance and just that same gift card, you can keep adding value to it. So next month, I can use my $10 or $20 that I get from my Delta Platinum and my Delta Business Reserve credit card, so $30 total, and I can just keep adding to that money. So what I plan to do, I'm going to try and get up to maybe 100, 150 bucks at one of the restaurants in Providence, Rhode Island that's on Resi. I'm not going to tell you which one. Some of y'all are creepy. And that's what I'm going to do. But this is how you turn your credits into couch credits. You don't have to go out to lunch. You don't have to go out and make sure you're spending exactly $10. You can do that from your home while you're watching Sunday Night Football, while you're tuning into me, which I greatly appreciate for this past hour. Amazing. So let me go to the comments here. Someone asked me a question. Where do I get more value? The Venture X or the PenFed Pathfinder Rewards credit card? So it has to be, I'm going to say something crazy here with an asterisk. It has to be the Venture X, even though I canceled it, right? I still have the business version of the Venture X credit card, so I still have access to it. But here's why. I was able to use my Capital One rewards points into getting Major League Baseball tickets for 5,000 per person or 10,000, per two tickets. I was able to get things like plays, shows, and different events. Not the good juice that I talked about, not that tequila event that I'm talking about, where right now I'm drinking G4 tequila. But ultimately, there was something, wow, that is so strong, so good. Wow, it hits your palate and you're just like, whoo. But you're able to get events like James Beard award-winning restaurants and chefs. You're able to get things like cooking classes, or other sporting events, right? I went to IndyCar as well, by using the experiences. So I've gotten so much value from my venture miles than I've gotten from probably my PenFed Pathfinder. I now have 3 of them. I love talking about multiples of the same credit card. You absolutely, if you can get approved for one PenFed Pathfinder card, you should get as many as they'll allow you to get. Because they're free as long as you have a checking account. Otherwise, it's going to cost you $95 a year to hold it. So for me, I have 3 free PenFed Pathfinder cards. I'm able to get $300 per calendar year in airline credits. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But they hate me. To answer your question, it is absolutely the Venture X credit cards. Filmo, sounds like you use the Resi hack. I love it. I love a good couch credit. Couch credits can be things like Resi. Couch credits can be things like rideshare credits. Couch credits can also be your airline incidentals. All right, we're going to talk about it. So a lot of cards, ones that I've even talked about, the PenFed Pathfinder, the Chase Ritz-Carlton, the personal and business platinum credit cards. They all come with credits, airline incidental credits that you can use on airlines. Now, one of my favorite ways, and the way that I like to use my credit, is to purchase refundable flights. So that is way number 1. So things like going to like Southwest. So with anything that's not American Express, you typically don't have to select an airline. So if you have the Wells Fargo $95 card, if you have the Hilton Aspire credit card, PenFed Pathfinder, the Ritz, just trying to think, those are cards you don't have to select a specific airline. So what you can do is purchase things like Southwest, right? If you travel on Southwest, right? Fine if you don't. But I'll book a flight from any city as long as it's under, I like to stay under $107. So a route that I often book is Las Vegas to San Diego, or Las Vegas to LAX. That for some reason is always like right in that sweet spot of like $98 to $107. Oftentimes and regularly, those will count towards your incidental credits, even though you're buying a flight. Now with things like Southwest, right? After you book the flight, after the charge is posted, you can cancel with no penalty. So now you'll have flight credit with United to use at your leisure. With Southwest, I don't think they expire, but Southwest made some changes. Do credits expire? They made some changes to their program. Okay, before May 27, 2025, they don't expire, but after they do. Okay. Okay, but they expire in 12 months. So you shouldn't even have a travel credit card, premium credit card, what do the people call them? Ultra premium credit card. If you don't travel, these cards are not for you. But because I know you travel, because I know you're watching this video, what you do, purchase a Southwest gift flight, wait till it posts on your account, and then you can cancel, and that will go into your travel credits. You'll have 12 months to use it because Southwest changed their policy, but you can do that same with JetBlue. Again, I like to keep it at $107 or less, and those have typically triggered my credits. With Delta, I've talked about this before, but we are 1 hour into this video, so I'm going to be very specific. When I have things like Amex offers, Bank of America offers, US Bank, it doesn't matter the bank, but ultimately Chase offers, they'll often have spend $50, spend $100 at Home Depot, get 10% back, or whatever it may be. Spend $49 at Walmart, get $20 back. I think that was one that I saw the other day. I will go to those establishments, Home Depot, Best Buy, Lowe's, Walmart, wherever. I don't care what the place is. If they sell gift cards, Staples is another one that I haven't seen in a while, but they used to have a lot of Amex offers. But nevertheless, I will go to those places and I will purchase a gift card for Delta. I love flying Delta. I fly out of Papa Victor Delta. If you are ever in my airport and you see me, I am there probably at least twice a month at minimum. Do not be shy. I don't know what you look like, but you know what I look like. So come up to me. I would love to chat. And I'll get you into the escape lounge in the basement if you're interested in that. But nevertheless, I purchased a gift card from one of those places that I mentioned that has the Amex or the Chase offer or whatever. And then what I do with things like American Express, I'll select Delta as my airline. And then, so I can purchase now any flight I want, again, because I'm doing refundable flights. But what I'm doing is I'll purchase a flight. I'll use my gift card for part of that purchase. So let's imagine I got a $50 gift card, $25 gift card, whatever, I don't know. But then I'm using the rest of my $200 credit. So I'm looking for like a flight that's like $230, $225 if I can find it. And I'm using gift card for partial payment. And I'm using the rest of my Amex Platinum, my Amex Business Platinum, my Amex, what else comes with a travel credit? I don't know. Whatever comes with a travel credit, I'm using it. And that is how I use my airline incidental credits. These are couch credits. And then you have 12 months to use them on any flight you want. Okay? So airlines I personally select: Southwest, JetBlue, Delta. Oh, American Airlines, you can just buy a gift card straight up. So you can use that as well. I don't fly American as often as I do with Delta and some of the others, but those are the airlines I select. You know what you didn't hear come out of my mouth? United Travel Bank. I don't fly United. Why the hell would I be purchasing United Travel Bank money? Again, way to use it as a couch credit, but those have an expiration date of 5 years. And I just talked about in my things that I forgot to do video. You might want to check that out after this to make sure you aren't forgetting anything. We have 30 days left in 2025. Do not be like me and forget to use some of this stuff. Watch my video from, was it last week? Maybe it was this week. I'm not even sure. Whenever I posted it last, it was 9 things I forgot to do in 2025. Make sure you're not doing any of those 9 things. I want the best for you. So please make sure you are maximizing everything where it makes sense, especially if there's couch credits involved. So I use my Resi credit from home. I also use my airline incidental credits from home, and I travel once per month, y'all. But even if you're not traveling once per month, I hope you are bringing yourself or your family or your friend or whomever on at least one trip within 12 months. Please do that for me. Please. We're using points and miles. So you need to be doing that. If you're not doing that, 2026, new year, new you. You are going to take a flight somewhere. And if you need help finding a flight, go to websites like theflightdeal.com. Go to websites like travelzoo.com and get some ideas. People will plan vacations for you if you need them to. But you can also look for flight deals where you can, use these discounted ways of couch credits and putting those towards your flights. Or 2026, come to the creator meetup in Charleston, South Carolina, because I'll be there September 4th through September 8th. Okay. So I would love to meet you. Okay. So Southwest, JetBlue, Delta, and American. Those are the only ways I use my travel credits from home. I don't need to travel anywhere as long as I travel within 12 months. Crystal clear. I tried to be as explicit as I could be. I've never given a spoon so big. So there's that. Philmo says, I will happily be anyone's travel companion if they're lonely. Yo, Philmo, let's meet up. Let's do it. I'm in. And I'll also take anyone's credits that's not going to use them. All right. What else? We've been talking for 58 minutes. Do we have questions? Do we have comments? If you've been afraid to ask anything because you think it's a dumb question, or you think, hey, I'm going to figure this out on my own, drop it in the comments. We're 1 hour in, so there's not a lot of people that are going to rewatch this video except for y'all, because I've been giving away nuggets. I've been sharing my screen, all sorts of stuff. But and I've been sharing where I'm traveling to as well. So y'all can come meet me in Q3 of next year. So let me know if there's any questions. I will keep your name anonymous as I read your question here, but I want to make sure that I'm giving you value. And I'm not going to be the type of person, at least for the foreseeable future, to put things behind a membership. And again, I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I want everyone and anyone of any background, of any socioeconomic status, to be able to use these videos and put things to use. So I'm not going to put that behind a paywall and kind of increase the barrier of entry. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'll wait until an hour into these tequila talks and I'll do it then. Okay. Other people have booked their room for the creator meetup, and I look forward to meeting you. I don't know if your name is Tim or if just your YouTube name is Tim, but would love to chat with you at the pool or at one of the restaurants. I'm going to move on to the next tequila. I'm going to come back to the G4 108 proof because it is so strong, y'all. It'll blow your palate out. So I'm moving on to number 3, which is one of my favorites. It's the G4 Reposado green label. I get this in my market for about $42. But I would pay, I think I've seen it up to $55. I would still pay that. Anything more than that, I do not believe in overpaying for tequilas or spirits or anything like that. If it's over that, I would say it's not worth it, personally. So, oh, let's go. Thank you, Filmo. Thank you, Filmo. I got a super chat from Filmo, $2 super chat. Filmo, I'm new to using, I went live directly from YouTube and not my normal software. I'm not sure how to put it up on the screen, but greatly appreciate it. I liked it. Oh, it doesn't let me like it. I hearted it, and I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. That was very kind, especially in the holiday season. Thank you. I'm not that YouTuber that's getting referrals every time I blink my eyes or anything like that. I really do use the super chats to fund my channel. I did just purchase a brand new monitor that will be here. Again, I'm a millennial. I like nice things. I don't believe in being frugal. I spend my money. I save and I spend my money. So again, I'm not calling shots on anybody, but you're not going to see me eating rice and beans. Yes, I am in my basement, but this is my home office. So, and this is not my parents' house. So, I'm going to use these tequila talks to be more transparent, more authentic. Actually, not more authentic. I think I'm pretty authentic in all my videos. And basically, what I do, y'all, is I record a video, I move it into 4K, and I post it on YouTube. I try not to even do edits to my videos. I don't pay anybody. I'm ultimately just trying to get better at public speaking and trying to be less shy, I guess. So that's why I'm doing YouTube. So the super chats, Filmo, really help. Greatly appreciate it. And I don't get referrals. Like the other day, I got a referral from Joe Barretto. And I think that was my first credit card referral in 2025 for sure. So greatly appreciate the people that click on the links. And I do have links in the description. Like if you're purchasing something on Amazon, if you want to help me out, just click on any of those links and do your normal purchase. I'll get a small kickback. It's like 1%. Sometimes it's 0.5% of anything you purchase on Amazon. So first, click on one of my links in my description, do your normal shopping. You don't have to purchase something from my description box. But that would help me out as well. So greatly appreciate it. Question we got here. How are you getting chase cards over 524? So far, no luck on my end. Like I said, I think by the end of this video, I'm going to unfreeze my Experian report and try and get that Chase Amazon card for $250. So I can get those AirPod Maxes, even though I don't need them. I've wanted them for a while. I've talked to Chad about getting them. Him and his wife have them. I just want them. And I may sell them because it is such a great deal. So maybe I sell them and then purchase myself another pair. I don't know, something like that. But how am I getting Chase cards? I put spend on my credit cards, y'all. I don't know why there's like stigma around people spending money. Like I have a life. Like I have a mortgage. I have a car payment. I buy groceries. I like to do activities. I like to buy tequila. Like there's so much stuff that I like to do. I put all of that spend on credit cards. And when I know that I'm thinking about getting another card, or if there is an elevated bonus, which is another way you can get Chase cards over 524, I do that. So put spend on your cards. Don't be the type of people that are, I'm team Amex, so I put all my charges on Amex. I put all my charges on Wells Fargo or Bank of America, and I don't give any love to Chase. And you're like, how come Chase doesn't give me any cards? Like, of course they're not. You're not putting any spend. You don't look to be a long-term profitable customer. If you're just getting cards, hitting the, $4,000 and that's it, you have $4,001 of spend on your credit card, you're not their customer that they're looking for. They're looking for people that put, hey, I'm going to tropical smoothie down the street and I'm putting that charge on whatever card. I'm putting it on IHG credit card. I'm putting it on whatever card I want as long as it's in the Chase ecosystem. Those are the types of people they want. They don't want the people that are, I only use my Chase Sapphire preferred for online groceries. Like that's not going to get you cards when you're over 524. I'm 16 and 24. I've already explained what that means, but ways you can get cards, put spend on them. Number one, regularly. Number two, wait for an elevated offer. I'm finding that anytime there's elevated offers on, again, these are non-Chase Ultimate Rewards earning credit cards, except for I've gotten the Freedom Flex back when I was way over 524 as well. So what I mean by that is like, you're not probably going to get a Chase Sapphire Preferred or a Chase Sapphire Reserve, even if there is an elevated offer, but you have a higher likelihood of getting things like the Chase Freedom Unlimited, the United, the IHG card, the Southwest card, if those are elevated offers, the Marriott cards, etc. Those are the cards that you can typically get when you're way over 524. Granted, you look like a customer that Chase wants to do business with for the foreseeable future. So that's that. Okay, we've been talking for an hour. I had some other things on my list that I didn't talk through. I'll name them off, and if anyone is interested, there's quite a few people in here. Greatly appreciate your time on this Sunday. These are topics I had on my mind. How I use the 900 benefits and perks of the Amex Business Platinum card. I already talked about Resi. I've already talked about airline incidental credits and how you can make those credits work for you sitting at home, listening to people like me on YouTube. You don't have to do that travel thing, go to a restaurant once a month. No, you don't have to do that. I had listed as well Marriott strategy, events I went to with points and miles, Virgin versus Delta, canceling credit cards plus investing the difference, what's in my wallet. Those are things I had as topics here. And when I say Virgin versus Delta, I've been having such an issue finding. So let me take a step back. Delta Airlines, most people know that. I love Delta. I love flying Delta. I try to always fly Delta, whether I'm using Delta Sky Miles, which you absolutely should have, or you're using things like the 35% points rebate with the American Express Business Platinum card, and Delta being your selected airline, or otherwise. I just love Delta. But sometimes it is not advantageous, especially when there are transfer bonuses to things like Virgin, to things like Air France KLM. You can often find the same exact Delta flight on things like virginatlantic.com that you can on delta.com. Delta sometimes will charge, 38,000 points to go from Boston to Austin, Texas, right? That's crazy. You can sometimes find that same flight when you go to the airport. You're going to the Delta gate, right? You're not going to Virgin Atlantic, but you can find the same flight on Virgin Atlantic, sometimes for 11,000, 9,000 points. And there's typically, because Virgin transfers from everything, I think. Let me just double check that while I'm thinking about it. But nevertheless, they transfer. So you can transfer your points to Virgin Atlantic from American Express, Chase, Capital One, Citi, Bilt, and Wells Fargo. And oftentimes between one of those many programs and banks that I just named, they will have a transfer offer. Right now, I think it is American Express and Chase have an offer, or a transfer bonus. I think it's Chase. I think it was 40%. I just booked it the other day. I can't remember right now. But nevertheless, sometimes when you take into account that transfer bonus, it's way less points than it would cost you to spend Delta Sky Miles. Like I said, we're using what we call airline alliances to help us with that. So even though I'm using my Virgin Atlantic points, when I get to Boston Logan, when I get to Providence Airport, I'm not looking for the Virgin Atlantic gate. It probably doesn't even exist, especially in Providence. I don't think there is one. But what you're looking for is to check in with Delta. You're looking for Delta flight number, blah, blah, blah. And that's the gate you're going to, even though we use Virgin Atlantic, even though we used Air France miles. You're not looking for the Air France anything. You're looking for the Delta gates, and you're looking for your destination. So I hope that's clear. I'm trying to be more clear with how to use this stuff. But why I said that on the list is because recently I don't know if I'm just using the search bar wrong or what, but when I go to Virgin, I'm not able to find all the flights I used to find. Um, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if maybe there's just some sort of glitch or something like that. Here's what I did notice. Let me log into Virgin while I'm doing this, but what I did notice, and someone dropped me a route that they want me to search. I'm gonna search it right now once I log in. Um, but what I did notice is that if I play around with the calendar, let's just say I was looking to take a flight on December 1st, for example. What I did notice is if I change that to like December 7th, there's that calendar bar at the top. You can usually switch back to the date that you want. I've been noticing if I put in a wrong date, like kind of similar, I can use that calendar tool and magically it'll come up with the flight. So I don't know. Maybe it's a glitch. Maybe it's just something. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I'm searching it. I don't use points tools, but this is a good time to purchase points tools. Things like Thrifty Traveler. Again, I'm not associated with anybody. Things like Thrifty Traveler. Things like points. Yeah, points.arrow. Whatever. I don't even know. I don't use some of these services, but now is the time for Black Friday, Cyber Monday to purchase things like that because, oh, Flighty. I do use Flighty. You can get a lifetime membership with Flighty. And typically there's a Black Friday deal. I don't know if there is one. I've already purchased the lifetime membership, but um, yeah, now's the time to buy stuff like that if you're interested. Like I said, I've never used a points award tool. I usually just search on search on the websites old school manually. But yeah, I'm gonna start sharing my screen. If anyone has a Virgin flight that they're looking for, or excuse me, a Delta flight that they're looking for, especially domestic, I've noticed anywhere in the US, I'm having really difficult time utilizing or finding awards. So Filmo, Sleepy Rod, Tim, Lisa, give me a flight, give me anything. Otherwise, I'm just gonna search something myself. But I want to just see, am I able to find a flight on or around those dates? But I've been having a lot of trouble with the Virgin site specifically, and even Air France. A lot of difficulty there. 17 people got a couple of likes here. Would love to see that number be equal. So thank you in advance. Really cool to see people come out, even though I did absolutely really no advertising for this live stream. Um, so, all right, nobody shared a flight that they want me to see, so I'm gonna search something myself. All right, cool. So with Virgin Atlantic, you have to be logged into your account. So you're not going to be able to use rewards flights until it says you need to log in, but you need to be logged in to use that. I always like to search for things one way. So that's what you'll see me switch to. All I did was toggle on rewards flights in one way. And I'm going to just use my home airport here. So I'll use Boston to, I don't know, where should we go? Actually, I'll use Fort Lauderdale as an example. Perfect. Let's just say, right, we want to go during February vacation week. Who knows when that is? But let's just say maybe it's like the day before Valentine's Day, something like that. Oops, I'm in March. I meant to be February. Boom. Okay. I'm going to search this and let's see what happens here. And again, okay, yes, this is what happens to me. We're sorry there was a problem processing your request. Usually, this means that there's no award flights available. Let's see. I'm now going to change this from Friday, February 13th to like middle of the week, right? I'm not going to fly middle of the week. I'm just curious. I'm going to change this to like Tuesday, the 10th. I'm just curious. Let's see what we got. Okay. You see how the calendar at the top, I think my screen's a little bit delayed, so let me make sure the screen's up first. I originally searched for Friday the 13th for flights. In fact, this one does say that there's no flights available, so fine, I believe it. I've been experiencing, though, where there are flights available, but I have to search for a couple days before or a couple days after to get flights to appear. That's just me personally, and hopefully this helps you. I know Filmo and Sleepy Rod said that they've been having some issues, so hopefully this helps. But all in all, I'm able to search, even though I maybe want to travel on the 13th. If I search the 13th, I get an error message. I don't know why. In this case, this one's fine, right? There actually is no flights available. But let's say I want to fly on Tuesday. You'll notice these are direct, nonstop flights. You'll notice it says I'm flying with Delta Airlines. So again, when you get to the airport, you go to the Delta check-in computer screen, what have you. and you book it. You do your check-in process there or on your phone. Mm. That G4 Repo, it's one of my favorites. It's so good, especially like it's cold here in Rhode Island. I find like Repos and Anejo are like my go-to when it's chilly. I think it's like something like 30 something degrees outside. It could be a little bit less than that Fahrenheit. So I just love it. And yeah, I'm going to be freezing my butt off tomorrow at the Patriots game, but yeah, it'll be fine. But nevertheless, right? So let's just say I did want to book this flight. This is Delta flight 2196. And this is going to cost me 16,500 miles and $6 or $5.60. Not bad. Unfortunately, there are no flights. So if you did want to go on Friday, you may have to use things like your American Express travel portal, your Chase travel portal to book the exact flight you want on Friday. What I'll do here, I'm going to go to Google Flights and I'm going to that same flight. So Boston to Fort Lauderdale. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to search one way again, and I'm going to search for that same flight. So I think it was February 13th. Ooh, look at these $49 flights, y'all. If I wanted to go to Florida and I'm seeing this on the map, it's $266 the day before Valentine's Day. Y'all, I am asking my boss for 2 extra days. I'm going to spend $49 or $64 before I ever spend $266. So that's just me personally. I would rather take a couple extra days off. But nevertheless, if you need to go there on the 13th, let's imagine it's like a funeral or something like that. I mean, we wouldn't be booking it this far out, but nevertheless, right? You can come in here and I'm using something called Points Path. Let me just make sure you're seeing my screen. Okay, you are. You can use things like Points Path. What this is going to do is search, and it's going to show you the points price for all of these different flights. And I'm just looking here. I don't think this is actually FLL. Let me just make sure this is only Fort Lauderdale here, because I don't even see that. Okay, I see the Delta flight now. So Delta wants to charge me 52,000 miles for this flight. That is 3 hours and 35 minutes. There is no way, y'all, I would ever do that. It's just not going to happen. So what I would do, a couple things. I would set a travel reminder in my calendar, but also with things like Fort Lauderdale, it may be beneficial to go to Miami. Miami is like 40 minutes, 30 minutes away from Fort Lauderdale. So, if it's, more feasible, maybe you can do that. But I'm seeing the prices are still cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs here. So I wouldn't do this either. Just trying to give you ideas. Let's say we needed to go to Fort Lauderdale specifically. I would check things like Virgin, but you can see today that those flights aren't available. I would just keep checking back every single day personally to see if those flights are available. But like I said, if I could travel a couple days earlier and get things like a $49 or an $80 flight, let's check out if it's Spirit. Might be. Not Southwest. I'm willing to spend $80, especially if I have things like my airline incidental credit. This would cover this full $80. But let's see what the points price is going to be on Delta. I'm curious. It may make sense to use things like, okay. It looks like Points Path is telling me this is a great deal. So I would use 6,500 points. And this is something I can maybe go take a half day at work, right? I don't have to take a full day. So I can get there. Maybe I work from the hotel on Thursday, so I'm not taking an extra day off. And then boom, take your vacation day Friday through, whenever, Monday, Tuesday, whatever that may look like. So you have an extended weekend. But these are things I do. Even though there's a stop here, I'd rather spend less miles, especially if there's cheaper options, especially on things like Virgin Atlantic or Air France. I didn't check Air France for these, but these are things that I would do. I like to just kind of check around, play around. $80 flight though. I would consider that. I could visit Tasha at the stops in Tennessee, BNA. I could visit folks like Tasha from the Major Change Group for a couple hours, you know what I mean? And keep moving. But I don't know, when there's 8-hour flights versus 3 or 4-hour flights, it's hard for me not to select the flight that I want to select. And also this is at 9:00 in the morning, 5 a.m. I'm definitely not doing that. So you'll definitely catch me on flights like these. 3:30 in the afternoon for 7,000 Delta miles, I'll definitely do that. But then I would still check Virgin Atlantic all day, every day. All right. I've been chatting for a while. We still got a number of people in here. Drop a give me a key emoji. Did you find this helpful? Is this entertaining? Should I continue doing these tequila talks as we get into, we're already in late 2025, but into 2026? Are these topics and more deep dives that you'd like me to see? Share my screen, go through things. I know I talk fast, but you can always slow me down on YouTube. You can rewatch it, things like that. Give me a key emoji if this was helpful and if you want me to continue doing these in the future. But also, maybe we could drink some tequila too at some point. That repo is so good. Awesome. Thank you for the feedback, y'all. Really, really helpful. Okay, how I'll wrap this up is I'm gonna stop doing what's in your wallet videos. Instead, I'm gonna just make a couple minutes segment on that topic. Did I even bring my wallet in here? Oh no. I don't think I did. Let me check. Oh, I did. Okay. So what's in my wallet videos are cool. I don't watch them too much because I find that the people that do what's in your wallet videos don't travel, or like we don't have the same alignment on how we travel. Those folks may do like one trip per year, and that's great. I love that people use, they actually, put stuff to use. But like, unless you're like a consultant, I work in sales, so like traveling pretty regularly or recreationally, right? Because I do work travel and I also do recreational travel as well. I don't like watching your what's in your wallet videos, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to just share quickly what I have in my wallet right now, excluding my driver's license, my 4-leaf clover. Y'all know I love this thing. It's seen better days. It's definitely seen better days. I may have to get another one, but I'm holding out. I'm holding out on it. My insurance card. And my Tesla key card. I have 3 cards in my wallet, and I usually have the kind of wallet that sticks on the back of your phone. Like that's my jam. You will not catch me if like ever in the streets with 17 different cards in my wallet, breaking my back. That's just not my style, and I think that's crazy. Like I think that's insane. Again, I'm not calling anyone out. I just think if you have more than like 2 cards in your wallet, why? Like I'm genuinely confused. I'm so confused. But anywho, cards I have in my wallet right now. My Citi Strata Premier, $95 annual fee. I talk about this card all the time. Right now, I have 85,000 Citi thank you points in my account, and I'm looking to use this card until I hit over 6 figures, so 100,000 plus in my account. The reason for that is I still hold on to a legacy card. It used to be called the Rewards Plus credit card. Now it's just a white. I think it's called the Citi Strata. It's all white, whitish gray. I still held on to a perk until July of 2026, which will allow me to transfer my points to, I can use them in the travel portal. I can use them for their transfer partners or otherwise. And I get 10% of my points back. So 10,000 up to a maximum of 10,000 Citi thank you points back. So I'm making sure for 2026, I have 100,000 points in my account. So that way I'm able to maximize that benefit before I maybe change that Citi Strata card into a custom cash or into who knows whatever I want to change it into. But it's no longer going to be that Citi Strata card. I have no use for that card outside of that 10% points rebate that I'm grandfathered into or locked into until July. Next card I have in my wallet is the Chase. Oops, you can't see that. The Chase Business Unlimited credit card. I do not have the Chase the Chase Freedom Unlimited card on the personal side. Instead, I use this business card for non-category spend. So anything outside of the Strata right now. So anything that's not at a restaurant, a supermarket, EV charging. This is my Strata card is attached to my Tesla account. So when I pull up to a supercharger, I'm getting 3 points per dollar on that. Anything outside of those categories. I go to a sporting event, I pay for tickets, whatever. I'm going to use right now my Chase Ink Unlimited card, which earns 1.5 points per dollar spent on all purchases uncapped. Right now, because I spent 80,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, or roughly, right? 80,000 Hyatt points on the creator meetup in September, Labor Day weekend of 2026. I need to replenish my balance. I think right now I have something like 60,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points. I'm looking 67,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points. I used a lot of Chase points this year for things like Southwest Airlines, for things like when there's flight deals on Delta, they're cash flights. I will use things like the 1.25% in the Chase Travel Portal to help me get to Delta status. So I'm not against using my points that way. I love when there's a Marriott or an IHG transfer partner or a transfer bonus. I absolutely love staying at Kimpton's. I know people are just discovering the Kimpton secret passcode. I've been talking about that. I told y'all about that a long time ago. But nevertheless, use the password and you get an elevated experience. I do not use points and miles to like keep a low budget type vacation where I'm eating sandwiches out the cooler like I used to do growing up. I like to stay at really nice hotels where they call me by my last name, where people carry stuff up from my Uber to my room. I love it. I love that. I love getting notes from Delta when I sit in my seat. There's a handwritten note that says thank you so much for being a medallion member. I love it. I love it. That's why I do points and miles. But nevertheless, I'm low on Chase Ultimate Rewards, so I'm trying to get my balance back up to at least maybe 50,000, I don't know, 100,000 maybe. I just use a lot of Chase points, so I need them. And I don't get referrals, like I already said. So I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. Last card I have in my wallet, but I don't even know why it's in my wallet, is the Rakuten credit card. And I got the purple version, and I'm just trying to hide my name. Okay, perfect. I got the purple card versus the gray one. I have a lot of gray cards, so I like purple. It's cool. But I'm right now earning built rewards points. So I've connected my Rakuten card to things like the Delta dining portal, to the Delta shopping portal. So I'm getting X number of points via Rakuten, and those are transferring into built rewards points. I already told you, I emptied out my built account and I moved those points to Hyatt because of the creator meetup in 2026. So I have like no built rewards points, like something like 400 built rewards points. So I'm recouping that balance. I did buy, like I said, a new monitor for the YouTube channel. It's not here yet, but I'm so excited to use it. And I got that from LG. So LG had a Amex offer. So I was able to load the Amex offer to my Rakuten credit card because it is an Amex card. But then I was also able to get, Rakuten had 15 points per dollar spent. Plus, because I used the Rakuten card, I got a boost as well. So I really cleaned up on that purchase. And that's how you can stack multiple offers to, help get those points balances back to where you need them to be, to hit your travel goals, to hit, hey, I just like to have X number of points or miles in my account in the event that there is an emergency or there is whatever. There's a cool tequila event that you want to go meet me at or whatever, right? I just like to have a little stash of points there as we think about that. But those are the cards in my wallet. I don't know why the Rakuten card is in my wallet, so I'm going to take that out. So basically, I have two cards in my wallet. I have the Citi Strata Premier at $95, and I have a no annual fee credit card. That's a catch-all card. That's it. Everything else is my driver's license, my 4-leaf clover, and my Tesla key card. So that's why I don't do what's in your wallet videos, because I feel like it would be me lying to you. Like if you ran into me on the street, like I really do have just 2 credit cards. I don't have, like, you're not going to see me with 30, like I'm not walking around with my credit card box here. Like that's crazy. Like I'm not doing that. Neither should you. If you have this many cards in your wallet or a fraction of this many cards in your wallet, you are doing something wrong. Please email me and I will help you determine what cards you need to be spending on and what cards can be on break for a while. Okay. So that's what I'll do. The last tequila that I have here, I'll just cheers you guys good night here, is the G4 Anejo. It is a maroon label. I don't know the cost. Let me look up the cost so I can give you an estimate on what you should pay. G4 Anejo. This would make maybe a good gift, I think. Oh, I can't even find it, yo. What's going on? Oh, it says it's $88. I don't think I paid $88. I write down all of the amounts that I spend on tequila, and I rarely spend this amount of money. So I don't think I paid $88. I'll have to, if anyone's interested in how much I personally paid for this bottle, drop me a comment, not a live chat, but drop me a comment in the video below, and I'll let you know. But $88 is a bit steep. I don't. It smells delicious, but it's good. Dang, that's good. I don't know. I don't think I'd pay $88 for it, but if it's a gift or something like that, you got a promotion at work, I'd splurge a little bit, but that's just me. All right. Cool. It's been an hour, 30 minutes. I'm going to check the chat one more time for comments, questions. Again, there is not a question I won't cover. I've showed you how to use your Resi credits from home. I've showed you how to use your airline credits from home. We've talked about getting multiple credit cards. We talked about why I'm not going to ever do a what's in your wallet video ever again. Because I think they're just straight cap. Like if I walk into somebody and I'm like, oh, I saw your what's in your wallet video, and you pull out, you got just the sticker thing on the back of your phone, cap. That's cap. So there's that. But yeah, let me check out the comments here. I always have a different card with a sign-up bonus in my wallet, sometimes 2 or 3. Yeah, okay. I'm not currently working on any sign-up bonuses until my PenFed Pathfinder number 3 arrives. But even with that, I did have, I have some major expenses coming up, so I'll be able to hit that. I think it's $3,000 to get 50,000 points. I'll be able to hit that pretty quickly because of the charges that I have coming up. So it won't go in my wallet, but I understand, right? I typically get a new card if I have big spend coming up. But y'all, actually, I say that may be cap. Let me hide this a little bit. I do have an offer, mail-in offer for another American Express Business Platinum credit card for 200,000 membership rewards points after $20,000 in spend. I may have to apply for that. I may have to do it. So that one would be in my wallet, at least for a little bit until I use up the airline credits, the Dell credits, and some of the other things that come along that card, the Clear, the Global Entry pre-TSA. Those are things like I'll keep it in my wallet because I give those credits to my friends, family to use up pretty quickly. But otherwise, I'm just going to make a tax payment at the end of the year and recoup that money back in February or so when my tax refund comes. Okay. For the overpayments I made. So a couple questions. Key, are you big on Hyatt? No, I am not big on Hyatt. This Hyatt stay in 2026 will be, I'm just looking at my tracker here. Did I stay at Hyatt at all this year in 2025? No. Out of the, I don't know, I think I have 70 plus flights. So you can imagine many days of hotels, and I hit Marriott titanium status, for example. So many nights in a hotel. 0 of those nights in 2025 were at a Hyatt. So I'm not big on it. I like programs like Hyatt, but I'm no longer going to be the type of person that's going to stay out in the boonies when I need to be in an event that I can instead book a Hilton or a Marriott and be right across the street. I'm not doing that anymore. I used to do that, and I'm going to be very transparent. You should not do that just to say you stayed at Hyatt and you got 900 cents per point. That is insane stuff. I don't understand it. I don't understand. What I do like about Hyatt, what I do like about Wyndham, what I do like about preferred hotels is that it's a fixed award chart. So it doesn't matter if Formula One's in town. It doesn't matter if Taylor Swift's in town. It doesn't matter. It's still going to be the same points per night. Unlike things like Marriott, Hilton, and some of the other hotels, right? Where it can now be, those same properties are going to be 900,000 points per night just because of a football game or an event or what have you. So I love Hyatt and other programs like that. But personally, I've stayed at 0 Hyatts probably out of the, 100 plus nights that I stayed in hotels, I'm just kind of guessing in my head here. 0 of those were in Hyatt in 2025. In your physical wallet, you have the Fidelity Visa, the Citi AA Platinum, the Business Platinum, and the Schwab Debit. Okay, 4 cards. That's not bad. That's not bad. I like the Fidelity card. I've been using that card as my catch-all credit card, my everyday card for a while. And I love that it automatically will move my cash back into my brokerage account or whichever account I select in Fidelity. But other than that, right now I need the Hyatt points. Wow, I need the Chase Ultimate Rewards points to make sure I have enough for 2026 travels. So I need to. That's why I've switched out. Otherwise, it would be my Fidelity card. Citi AA Platinum working on a minimum spend sign up bonus. That makes sense. Hit that sign up bonus for sure. I don't know what the spending requirement is, but I've been telling people this. If you plan to travel on American Airlines and you already know you want the card and you can hit, I don't know if it's $3,000 or $4,000 of minimum spending requirement, depending on where you're going, does it make sense to hit that sign up bonus by purchasing additional American Airlines miles? Just saying, it's not going to work for everybody, but like if you're going places like Qatar Q Suites, some of these other places, right? And Fifth Freedom routes are another one where you can really get some insane value. But if you're doing something like that, you may not have to carry this card around. Just purchase the $3,000 worth of American Airlines miles. I don't know what that gets you, but you're getting whatever the purchase is, plus you're getting the sign-up bonus of 70, 80,000 American Airlines miles. So that should help jumpstart you immediately to flights for round-trip flights for yourself and maybe even one other person. So that's a strategy that I think a lot more people should employ, but I'm just kind of throwing it out there, not saying you need to do that. Would need to know way more details about where you're trying to go. The American Express Business Platinum, carrying it around for purchase protection, extended warranty, and rental protection, or excuse me, return protection. I guess, like, how often are you leaving your house and making big purchases like that? I don't personally carry it in my wallet, but I make a lot of my bigger purchases online because I like to stack things like the Amex offers with Rakuten or with Delta Shopping Portal or what have you. So like, I don't need to have the physical card. Yeah, it's just not a card I would have in my wallet, personally, especially because like, yeah, I don't get it, but it's totally fine. I like it. And then debit cards, I don't carry debit cards. You're not gonna catch me with a debit card. I do use the Fidelity cash management account though. I got rid of Schwab. I canceled my Schwab account this time last year. Just don't need it. Don't need another login. In my wallet, another person has the sign up bonus card that they're working on, the Fidelity Visa signature, and a card I'm putting small charges on to build a relationship with a new bank. Okay, that sounds good. With building a relationship for a new bank, I did talk about this before, Tim. Like those banks or credit unions, whatever, they're looking for you to use their card like all the time, not just like if they have a category bonus or what have you. Like I would, after you hit your sign up bonus personally, if you're trying to get an auto loan, a home loan, or a personal loan or whatever, HELOC, line of credit with this new bank or credit union, I would switch. Don't get a new card. I would just put all of your purchases for the next like 45 plus days on that card and then apply for whatever you're trying to do with this new bank. But small charges, I would say you're better off not using the card, especially if it's a smaller bank, like outside of, the normal ones that we're always talking about. So that's just me. Sleepy Rod. Hyatt does do the trick where they don't let you book rooms with points. Was trying to book a room in Mexico City for the World Cup, but they're only doing cash days. Yeah. Unfortunately, Hyatt does have blackout night, or I don't know if they call them that, but they sometimes like you can only pay cash. That's where it makes sense to use and potentially makes sense to use things like the Chase Ultimate Reward Portal, your FHR credits, your edit credits, your spend $500, get $100 off from your City Premier credit card, and then erase those travel charges with points. That's where it makes sense to use perks like that if the Hyatt is the most optimal property for you to stay at for the World Cup. Um, Curious side note, did you get World Cup tickets? I was on the list and they told me like the pricing almost fell out of my whole house. I'm not paying that much to go to the World Cup. I need to be on the hunt. But do you have a connect for World Cup? I'm asking because Foxborough, Massachusetts, where the New England Patriots play, they do have they will be hosting the World Cup at that location, and I would do that, but not for the price that they want. So let me know if you have a connect. Please email me. I would greatly appreciate that forever. Someone is turning into a points and miles hoarder, and you need to get something booked. Let me know if you need ideas. But otherwise, everyone, thank you so much for joining tonight's Tequila Talk. Cheers to you, whether it's tequila or a non-alcoholic beverage. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you got to spend it either with yourself and had a great time, with family, with friends, or traveling. Cheers to you all. Thank you, and good night.